Hello, I'm Stephen Lane, CEO and founder of Prop Store, and today I'm going to be chatting with you about one of the many wonderful Star Wars artifacts that we have upcoming in the Prop Store auction. I'm an avid Star Wars fan myself, so I've really enjoyed this deeper dive and close-up look at this model miniature. Before we get started on that, let me tell you a little bit about the auction itself. This year it's going to be a 3-day auction, so we've added an extra day. It's going to be November the 9th through to November the 11th. We're going to start each day at about 3 p.m. GMT, so that's 3 p.m. here in London. That's 7 a.m. on the west coast of the US and 11 a.m. on the east coast of America. There's going to be over 1,000 lots from over 300 film titles and TV shows, so please be prepared to tune in for about 6 to 7 hours each day. And you can find out all the information about the auction and register for bidding at propstore.com/live auction. The catalogue itself goes live for bidding on Tuesday the 12th of October. So let's have a closer look at this piece that I have here in front of me. I'm sure that most of you are going to recognise exactly what it is. This is a model miniature X-Wing from Return of the Jedi. So this is a filming miniature that was built by ILM. So to speed up time and to reduce costs during production, ILM actually bought in a number of off-the-shelf model kits to then modify for filming. Now, Star Wars model miniatures themselves are incredibly rare and hard to track down. Over the last 20 years or so here at Prop Store, we've managed to handle just a few of them. But there's some really special attributes to this particular model miniature that I'd like to talk you through now. So what's really exciting and interesting about this particular model miniature is its construction. This was actually built by heavily modifying an off-the-shelf model kit. Now, this is something that was commonplace during this period of production and actually is still practiced to this day. And that in essence was going to cut down the amount of hours required to prepare the model miniature and also save a huge amount of time with budget. So let's take a look at what the ILM guys actually did to this particular model miniature. So first of all, it has a weighted back half of the body here, and then running right the way through from front to back is a motion control mounting point. So this has a threaded rod that runs right the way through the center of the body. That allowed them to create a mounting point here in the nose. And then there's also another motion control mounting point up on the underside. That's actually where we've got the display stand mounted here. And then if I rotate this just round to camera here, and I just very carefully remove this cover plate, we can see the motion control mounting point there as well. So by having this variety of different motion control mounting points, that actually allowed the ILM team to be able to set the miniature up for shooting from different angles. So while we've got the back of the X-Wing facing camera here, let me just talk about one of the other really interesting elements to this model miniature, and that's the light-up engine thrusters. So each of these engine ports actually has a light built into it, and then around the light we have an aluminium shroud. Now that's fitted into there because this is built pre-cold light technology. So when this was on stage and running for long periods of time, the lights would get extremely hot, and that was to protect the model kit from melting or any damage to coming to the model kit. One of the aspects to this model miniature that I really love is the distressing, the teching and the detailing that's gone into it by the ILM crew. Of course, this is synonymous with the vision that George Lucas had for this dirtied and used space when he's talking about the world of Star Wars. Another interesting element is that the top of the wings here actually has a red 4 designation, while the underside has a red 5 designation. We've actually mounted the X-Wing on this display stand with this mirror base so that you can look down into it and be able to see the reflection of that, so you can see the difference between the two wings. Does that mean at some point in time this X-Wing miniature might have been designated for use for long shots of Luke Skywalker's X-Wing? That's something we'll never know the answer to, but is certainly a possibility. And what's extra special about this is that it has light-up engine thrusters. And this is in fact the only X-Wing with light-up engines that we've ever seen come to market. So it is an incredibly rare model miniature and very, very significant. It also has excellent provenance. This came from an ex ILM model maker many years ago when it was first changed hands, and he worked on Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, as well as all three of the Indiana Jones original trilogy films and many other movies. We can identify this as specifically being created for Return of the Jedi, as for Star Wars A New Hope, all of the X-Wings and model miniatures were of course scratch built. For Empire Strikes Back, they used very slightly different paint colours and tones, and this actually also matches the finish of other X-Wing model miniatures from Return of the Jedi that are documented in the Lucasfilm archive. This has an auction estimate of £200,000 to £300,000, so it is a considerable price, but it is an incredibly scarce model miniature. This is in fact just one of over 100 Star Wars artifacts in Prop Store's upcoming auction, so please be sure to check out the full catalogue. There's something there to suit all budgets. And also be sure to check out our social media streams for all of the video content that we're posting covering a wide array of the artifacts in our upcoming auction. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this closer look at this model miniature X-Wing, and don't forget to register at propstore.com/live auction.